Alert! What they never told you about colonoscopy. A colonoscopy is one of those medical procedures that no one really talks about until they absolutely have to. For many, it carries a sense of dread, and not just because of the idea of having a camera inserted into a very private part of the body. The real fear often comes from the horror stories surrounding the preparation, the discomfort, and the unknowns of what the experience will actually be like. Yet, despite the buildup of anxiety, colonoscopies remain one of the most effective and life-saving screening procedures available. They can detect early signs of colorectal cancer, find and remove polyps before they turn into something dangerous, and help diagnose unexplained digestive issues. But what people rarely tell you is that the procedure itself is often the easiest part. The real challenge lies in everything leading up to it. The reality of a colonoscopy, what no one tells you. A colonoscopy is a medical procedure in which a gastroenterologist examines the inside of the colon using a flexible tube with a tiny camera attached to it. This device, known as a colonoscope, is inserted through the rectum and carefully guided through the large intestine, allowing the doctor to spot any abnormalities, inflammation, polyps, or potential signs of cancer. While the mere thought of this can make most people uneasy, the actual procedure is relatively simple and, for most patients, completely painless. However, that doesn't mean there aren't some surprises along the way that no one warns you about. The most shocking revelation for many people is that the colonoscopy itself isn't what you should be worried about. The real ordeal is the preparation process. This is where the discomfort begins, and it's what patients tend to remember most vividly. The dreaded bowel prep, the part no one talks about. If you ask anyone who has had a colonoscopy about their experience, they won't complain about the actual procedure. Instead, they'll tell you about the intense, exhausting, and borderline traumatic process of clearing out their colon the night before. Preparing for a colonoscopy involves consuming a potent laxative solution designed to flush out the intestines, ensuring that the doctor has a clear view of the colon during the exam. While this sounds straightforward, the reality is much more challenging than people anticipate. The first shock comes when patients realize just how much liquid they have to drink. The solution prescribed is typically a massive jug of what many describe as one of the worst-tasting drinks they have ever encountered. Some newer formulas have improved the flavor, but many still find it nearly unbearable. To make matters worse, it must be consumed in large quantities over a short period of time, often triggering a nearly immediate and relentless urge to go to the bathroom. This isn't just a simple case of diarrhea, it's an all-night marathon of rushing to the toilet. Some describe the experience as feeling like their insides are being power washed. Others find themselves in an endless cycle of drinking the solution, running to the bathroom, and then returning to force down more of the liquid, all while dealing with bloating, cramping, and the discomfort of an emptying digestive system. What people don't often mention is that the process can be exhausting, dehydrating, and even mentally draining. It's not uncommon to experience chills, nausea, and extreme fatigue by the time the colon is finally cleared out. Some people find themselves unable to sleep because they're making so many trips to the bathroom. Others feel weak or lightheaded due to the combination of fasting and frequent fluid loss. The strange part? By the time it's all over, some people report feeling oddly light or even euphoric, as if they've undergone a complete detox. But for most, the only feeling that remains is sheer relief that the worst part is over. The surprising side effects of an empty gut. Once the colon has been completely flushed, the body can feel different in unexpected ways. The most immediate effect is extreme hunger, since patients have been on a clear liquid diet for at least 24 hours prior to the procedure. The stomach may feel strangely hollow, and some people report a heightened sense of smell or an intense craving for solid food. Another unexpected side effect is gas. After the colonoscopy, patients often experience bloating due to the air that was pumped into the intestines to help the doctor see everything clearly. The result is a lot of trapped gas that needs to be released. While it may feel embarrassing, the medical staff actually encourages patients to pass gas before leaving the recovery area, since it helps relieve discomfort. Some people find themselves in fits of laughter over the absurdity of it all. There's also the phenomenon of post-colonoscopy emotions. Some patients wake up from anesthesia feeling groggy, loopy, or even a little emotional. It's not uncommon for people to cry for no apparent reason or say bizarre things while still under the effects of sedation. Others feel completely normal, aside from mild grogginess. The procedure itself, not as scary as you think. By the time the actual colonoscopy happens, most patients are so relieved to be done with the prep that they don't even care about the procedure itself. The good news is that modern sedation methods make the experience incredibly easy. Patients are given an intravenous sedative that helps them relax or puts them into a light sleep. Many people don't remember anything at all. They are wheeled into the procedure room, feel a sense of drowsiness, and then wake up in the recovery area wondering when the exam is going to start, only to be told that it's already over. For the rare few who do remain slightly conscious during the procedure, there may be a sensation of pressure or mild cramping, but it is not painful. The doctor carefully navigates the colonoscope through the intestines, looking for any irregularities. If polyps are found, they can be removed on the spot and sent for testing. The entire procedure typically takes 20 to 30 minutes, though patients may need to stay in the recovery area for a little while longer to let the sedation wear off. What to expect after the procedure. After waking up, most people feel groggy but otherwise fine. Some experience mild abdominal discomfort or residual bloating due to the air introduced into the colon. The first trip to the bathroom post-colonoscopy may feel strange, but everything should return to normal within a day. The biggest relief comes from finally being able to eat again. Most patients can eat immediately, though doctors recommend starting with light foods to avoid shocking the system. Some people dive straight into a feast, while others take it slow. Regardless, the overwhelming feeling is one of gratitude, both for the ability to eat solid food again and for having made it through the process. Why it's all worth it. Despite the dread, the discomfort, and the awkwardness of it all, a colonoscopy is one of the most important screenings a person can undergo. Colorectal cancer is one of the most preventable cancers when caught early, and a simple colonoscopy can detect and remove polyps before they become dangerous. It may not be the most glamorous experience, but it is one that can save lives. If there's one thing that people should know about colonoscopies, it's that while the preparation may be unpleasant, the procedure itself is nothing to fear. The temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for peace of mind and the possibility of preventing a life-threatening disease. For those who are due for their first colonoscopy, the best advice is to embrace the process with a sense of humor, follow the doctor's instructions carefully, and remember that millions of people go through it every year. It's not fun, but it's far from the nightmare people make it out to be. Medical disclaimer. This article is for informational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. Always consult a healthcare professional regarding any medical procedures, symptoms, or concerns. If you have specific questions about colonoscopy preparation or results, speak with your doctor.